today we have with us the oh so talented Mr. Lucky Peters. How are you today?
I'm doing fine.
Are you? Is it weird being in front of the camera? Because you're usually behind the camera.
It definitely is, now I see what people go through.
Yeah, it's a lot. But then now you have all the girls calling. You're like, oh, who's that? All right, be shy now. So, you are something like a Renaissance man. Is it safe to call you that?
I would say a man who's acquiring talents. I'm not quite there yet.
This guy. But, I mean, for those of you that keep up with Mr. Lucky over here, you do the whole film thing.
Mm-hmm.
You do the photography thing.
Yes.
If you follow him on Instagram, he's a nice chef. He's a little shy about it, but he be putting all you paper plate people, David, to shame. So, you kind of could do it all. So, I mean, I think that's more like a Renaissance thing, yeah?
Okay, if you want to give it that
I'm going to call you that. Watch, it's going to catch on. So, you had an exhibit, not too long ago, right?
Yeah, about a month ago.
And it was the Queen exhibit. So can you tell us a little about that?
All right, so Queen basically was an exhibit where I wanted to show my appreciation for women. I wanted to help break the barriers in media about what people identify as beauty. So, people like to look at Victoria's Secret models, video models, and they feel like they have to compare themselves to these women because this is what they're glorifying in media. When in fact, these rappers and these other people, like the people who glorify them, don't go home to those kind of women every
Exactly.
day.
Yeah.
They go home to my everyday women, just, beautiful in their own sense, that we appreciate them. So I just wanted to shed that light, because this also works better for the youth who feel like they need to get butt shots and all this other stuff just to, equate to what the media is telling them is beautiful.
I agree. Do you think, well, I saw the exhibit. For those of you that didn't, you missed a spectacular showing.
Thank you.
So I just want to know, how did you, pick the women that you chose? Are they just, friends? Did you do a casting call?
Yeah, I never did a casting call. What happened was, it was kind of weird because the idea was for me to never do the Queen exhibit. It was just an appreciation thing. Say I have a friend and she's for some reason, a lot of women, they want to have that experience where they can see themselves in their full essence, just the way they are. Mm-hmm. And with that, they're they show their friends the photos, and then their friends contact me and they're like, yo, I want the same type of photos. And then people who seen the beauty in it was like, Josh, you have to expand on this thought. Don't just stop right there. Yeah. Share your philosophy on it. And it just went from there. And then, there was some women who I found beautiful in my eyes and was like, I want to share you to the world. And they were cool, I'm down with it. And and it just went from there. But I didn't do a casting call. I got a lot of scrutiny from it because they was like, why you didn't call me? And I'm like, I'm sorry.
Shit, I asked. I was like,
I'm sorry, I didn't know. Because you never know how big something is until later.
Yeah.
Because you never see, like they say, hindsight is always 20/20. But yeah.
And did anyone buy any of the pictures and stuff?
Oh yeah. I had some people who purchased. I'll keep their names quiet. They're collectors now, and they appreciate my work. And
what was the highest selling one? You could just throw a price out there. You don't have to say which one or who it was.
Yeah,
just a good idea.
I'd rather not tell the price. Nah, it's just more so that's what they valued it as.
Yeah.
It was
so you didn't set the price. They said,
They set the price. First, my mentor, she came. She helped us set up for the event, and she was just like, you should sell them starting at this.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I didn't plan to sell them. I just wanted people to enjoy it. Because one thing I always found odd was as an artist, how do you sell your work? This is something that you appreciate, And it's just but they say, never be a collector of your own work. So
that's also true.
When she was telling me, you're going to sell your pieces because people want to, I got there maybe about 10 minutes after we opened the doors. Mm-hmm. It was a hectic day. So 10 minutes after we opened the doors, there was a lady in there saying, I want this piece. I don't care if you're not selling it. I want it, I want it, I want it, I want it. And my mentor sold it to her before I even got there. Yeah. And I'm like, well, okay, since we're selling, let's do it. There's nothing wrong with extra money, you know.
Gotta love those mentors, huh?
Yeah, everything, you know. And it just went from there. And I just, you know, I didn't tell them what price it was. That's what they appreciated it as. They set the price, the beginning price,
Mm-hmm.
and then people went over. Some people hit it right on the offer and quote, and yeah.
Nice. So would you do another exhibit? Not necessarily the Queen one, but like something different?
Yeah, I'm going through my artist cleansing phase right now, where it's because right now what's going on is a lot of people are like asking me to do shoots for them, and they're asking for Queen, and I'm like, I need to like clean my palette, so I could create something else for the world, and that's what I'm doing right now. So on my off time, you know, I search the internet, I go outside. It's getting warm, so you'll definitely.
And you live like in a very interesting part of the city. I'm not gonna throw your address out there,
yeah,
but
it changed. It changed.
Yeah.
Because how I remember it was that this was like luxury. And
Yeah.
I get out there and now it's like everyday people are
Yeah.
just outside.
very
and you just,
hipster, grunge,
yes, it's
fashionista.
kind of. Yeah, it's
I don't know,
kind
it's a
of
mix.
weird out there. You could go out there one day and it's like this, and then go out there the very next day and
That's
it's like, what just happened? Am I in the Twilight Zone?
That's very true. So that covers the photography side of you. Now we're going to go
Yes.
to the film side.
Okay.
So your company...
That's my first passion.
Yes. Okay, so we know that you went to film school, right?
Yes.
New York Film Academy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started your own company. Oh, David's hired because he went to New York Film Academy. Your company, though, from your passion for film is Paid in Gold, right?
Yes, Paid in Gold Multimedia.
Okay, so can you share a little about that?
All right, so Paid in Gold is more so a collection of friends who are highly talented in certain areas. So basically, I always like fondled around with the film world. I never really like jumped straight into it. But then once we established our collective as Paid in Gold, I was like, all right, now I have to go to school and learn the basics so I could, like, you know, sharpen my skills. Like, it's this phase that we were in where we were just sharpening our knives, going back to school, touching up on whatever we needed to touch up on. So basically, I do film, and the rest of the members in Paid in Gold do digital graphic art, audio engineering, photography, like basically anything that deals with the new media of today.
Mm-hmm. So y'all cover all the basics.
We cover all of it.
Okay.
And you know and then when the business aspect came into it, we were just like, we want to create campaigns for artists or whoever's like starting a company. Like we have had established companies for clients, but our main focus was working with people who just started their company, so we could basically contribute all of our talents to create a campaign for that person. So say like Joe's Pizza, right? Mm-hmm. They're opening up and they're like in Midtown and they want to expand on their visual presence as far as like being reached and being recognized so people could come and, you know, basically marketing standpoint. Mm-hmm. And basically we would create ad campaigns with commercials, basically like print ads and stuff like that, and tell them like, these are the avenues you need to go to help get more exposure for your company. And they would take the campaign, pay us not much. Yeah. And
That's just now though. That's just the beginning.
And we'll just go from there, you know, and then they tell their friends about it and then other people call us. So basically, since what I do is like the most requested, a lot of people ask me to do all type of things. Like, you know, can you film a wedding? Can you do this? And it's just like, it's been constantly rolling. Yeah. But then I never leave like any of my teammates behind. So I'm always like, we also do photography. So basically we'll package this together and he'll do the photos for your wedding. I'll do the video presentation and you'll have this wonderful book together for your wedding. And basically with that being out there, you have this thing that's timeless and it'll last forever. You could show your grandkids.
And you kept it all in the family.
Years. Kept it all in the family.
One band, one sound.
Exactly.
That's it right there.
Exactly.
So what's like a long-term goal for you guys? That like you set this and this is something you must accomplish.
Basically, once I have the hopes that everybody would move back to New York, because at the time everybody, you know, real life happens.
Yeah.
And with real life happening, sometimes you have to put your dreams to the side. But we always, basically, the workload still gets done, but it's not as constant.
Yeah.
So basically, when we all lived in New York, it was like we'll all sit in the living room, just like everybody pull out their computers, we get stuff done, we take the cameras out, we go get stuff done. But you know, I have friends, some people in the group moved to Philly, some people moved to LA, but at the end of the day, when something has to get done, there's always the internet, so we share things back and forth. But I would hope for the main mission for everybody to move back to New York and we set up office space and stuff like that.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Or you guys could have an office in Philly and you have an office in LA.
That'll be the dream.
You guys could just.
But we gotta have an office in New York.
Sure. Obviously, New York is the mecca. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so the whole theme of this episode is like making your own way.
Okay.
You went to St. John's, just like
STJ fam.
me, David, a couple of other people that's been on the show. And what was your major at St. John's?
It's gonna sound so crazy when I
okay.
say this. I graduated with a degree in public relations.
Okay.
And I also attended grad school for an advanced degree in international communications.
And what are you doing with those 2 degrees?
Nothing.
But the thing is, well, which is why I'm doing this, I feel like, you know, we're at the point now that we went to all this schooling and stuff like that, got all these degrees, and corporate is just not making room for us.
They're not.
They don't want us there. Well, actually, some of them, they can't afford to retire right now, so they have to keep their jobs a little tighter. But then, a lot of them are looking at us like, you know, they're lazy, they don't really know what they're doing. So I feel like that's why a lot of us are trying to make our own paths, and which is why I really want to talk to you, because I feel like you're definitely one of those people out there, you know, like, F the rules, I got to do my own thing. Is that how you feel?
I have thought, or I feel like it's a conspiracy, but it's not. It's more so realistic. I know this is what's happening.
Okay.
I feel like the reason why there's not a lot of jobs out there in the world is because everyone is either fend for themselves, or there's this cliquish mentality.
I strongly agree with that second.
Where, like, you know, say like a lot of people that went to St. John's want to work in the industry, so they want to work like somewhere in the music industry, and you have these unaccredited, invalid people with no knowledge to this one specific field where everyone wants to work, and they're just like, all right, I'm at a higher position now I'm pulling all my mans in.
Yeah.
But when they pull their mans in, they don't really know what they're doing, and that's why you have places like Def Jam who let go so many people.
Right.
Because you have all these inadequate people running a company.
Yeah.
When they don't really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And it's just like, that's why I always like tell people, like, especially from St. John's, I always like preach to people from St. John's, like, listen, we're all we have. Like, understand you have friends from back home, but at the end of the day, St. John's, your alma mater is your network. You're only as strong as your alma mater. So it's like, I always tell people, like, listen, always put on people from where you went to school from.
Yeah.
And understand you may not have spoken to that person a lot, but it's always going to be a constant spinning circle of employment, ideas, and with new ideas come more money. Yeah. But you have all these people that's like, you know what, I'm going to forget about all these people and just run with these circle of people. And at the end of the day, you're just going to be like a freaking hamster running in a wheel. They're just going to keep running you, when if you was to just do it like everyone else is, like, say like you're speaking to me and you're doing your thing, and we're all just like, if we stuck together and said, fuck it, we're going to kick the door down, that works better.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's almost like the same philosophy for them picking up their friends and doing these jobs when they know they can't do it.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I feel like we went to school for this.
Yeah, exactly.
I know people that are in debt $120,000. If you put them at a job for $35,000, they'll give you the best work they have, and then at the end of the year, you could restructure my contract.
Yeah.
But just get me in the door. That's all I ask.
Well, that's what I always say. I was like, the thing is, once they let me in there, they're gonna regret it because I'm gonna tear shit up.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like, what? It's cool now, everyone. You guys can be on calm, but once I get my foot in there,
Yeah.
It's
they're
over.
Gonna be like, Dad,
it's over.
She's bringing in all the money. What are we gonna do? And then when you're like, oh, because like, say like, you know, you're doing production for the Oprah show or something, and they're like, all right, we're gonna be bringing the Oprah show to New York for 3 days. We need workers, right?
Right.
Instead of you like going back to your alma mater and saying, listen, I know y'all went to school for this, this, and this, and this. I need y'all. It's a 3-day thing. I signed your contracts for this amount. Cool. Just don't make me look bad. Instead, they give their money to their mans who don't even know how to work a camera.
Exactly.
Because I've been on set before for productions, and we've given them, this is not even like 35 millimeter cameras. This is not Elixirs. This is not Red cameras. This is not Blackmagic Cinema. You're giving them like Canon cameras. And he's like, yo, how do I record it? And I look at the producer like, that's your man's? Like, did you put him on? And then I have to tell the dude, you got to go home for the day.
Yeah. And
now I'm holding the camera doing work when I have to produce a set.
Right.
And now I'm a camera guy now and a producer at the same time.
But what a lot of people don't know is like, because, well, we've both been on the other side and on this side, but it's like when you're in the corporate position and you're at a table and they need people, they ask you first instead of all those applicants you have. Like, people sit at the computer and like, you may have 2 degrees, 1,000 internships, but if you don't know someone in there, your chances are very slim. And when you have someone sitting there, it's like, oh, my little brother, we used to make home videos before. It's like, cool, get your little brother in here. And it's like, what did I go to school for?
And I feel like we could enrich ourselves as a university if we reach back to that base of people that we know from our university that can help us out.
Because St. John's is anywhere. You can step into any business and be like, I went to St. John's, and at least 3 other people in there will be like, word, me too, what year?
But then you ask them, who from St. John's have you helped?
Right.
And they be like,
no one.
You know?
No
and
one.
It just looks bad.
So, St. John's alum, we need to fix this. We need to stick together.
Because Harvard grads stick together.
Yeah, they do.
Yale grads stick together. Berkeley grads stick together. I just found like a whole new circuit of people from Berkeley School of Music.
Right.
And they're all out here getting gigs, working together, sticking together, and they're just like I tease them all the time. I'm like, just remember, y'all in New York, that's St. John's territory.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't stop them because they're sticking together. And
Exactly.
I feel like we don't do that as a university.
Plus, then you have the cool people on like social media that they
Too
rather,
cool for school.
They rather just be with the other cool people.
Yeah.
Fake it till you make it. You guys know that life, right?
Yeah. So sad. It's so sad.
Anyways, I'm not gonna just get on anyone. Okay, so final question: what's next for Lucky Peter?
There's a project that I've been looking to release for like almost 6 months now, and it's a short film, basically structured around the No Child Left Behind Act.
Okay.
The title is called Left, and it takes place in East New York, Brooklyn, where you have a struggling youth who wants to leave his circumstances, and there's a teacher that wants to help him, but then there's always this major factor of the child's environment to what stops them from making progress in life.
Okay.
So I always feel like, as growing up in East New York, I always felt like my mom did a great job with this. I can't deny that. But my mom also worked.
Yeah.
So from when the football season is over, from 3 to 7, 8, 9 o'clock when my mom gets home, there's no one there really telling us like, do your homework.
Yeah.
Read these chapters. There's no one there, and when she comes home as a teenager, she's exhausted.
Yeah.
1, and 2, as a teenager, she's not really gonna ask me, did I do my homework?
Yeah.
She did that from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Right.
Now you're in high school. You gotta like strap in, and you should know. So now she has to focus that attention on my younger siblings.
Mm-hmm.
And just imagine the kids who have like 7, 8, 9, 10 siblings in the house. Not even siblings, but cousins and whatever.
That's how I was. I had an older brother, and my 2 cousins lived with us. So, and it was just my mom. So it was like,
come home tired, you know?
Yeah.
So basically, I wanted to shed light on basically saying how the No Child Left Behind Act fails in a sense. Because I feel like you can't put kids under standardized testing when every kid's learning patterns and every kid's lifestyle is totally different. I think they should take that money that they're trying to wrap our kids, basically manufacture our kids through this standardized testing. I feel like they should take that money into after-school programs and mentoring programs and actually have someone there to help out the teachers. Because the teachers, they have to constantly reiterate themselves because the kids are not soaking in the information once they leave to go home.
Yeah.
So I feel like there should be after-school programs to be like, okay, the kids went through chapter blah, 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 blah. They learned about this, and when they get to the after-school program, after school, there's a tutor, a counselor, a mentor. There's someone there to say, all right, let's open up the textbook and go over what you learned today.
Yeah.
You know, because I seen the difference basically from me spending a lot of time living with my aunt and living with my mom. When I live with my aunt, you get home from school, my aunt is right there. She brings us home from work. She leaves work, brings us home. She say, open up them phonics books. I don't care if you got homework. You're going to read these passages, get that done. Then we're going to do homework, and then you're going to get ready for bed. So it's like it's no time to run the streets and lose everything. Yeah. It's just like homework, and then you watch a little bit of TV. You could probably play the video game, but it was mainly like keeping the information you just gained in that one day and just like sealing it. Like now it's in your brain. It's good.
I was definitely an after school kid, and that helped a lot. Especially like when we lived in Brooklyn, but I eventually moved to Long Island. But still, like my mom had to work till like 6. So if I'm out of school at 2:45, so straight to after school, and they made sure we did not. It was a good after school program, not the ones where they just let you run crazy. Like, okay, it's homework time until 4. Then snack. Then if you have free time, you play. Yeah. If you don't finish your homework, then you got no free time.
You got no free time.
Exactly. And then my mom would pick us up, and then she'll check over my homework. So it was like
double time.
Yeah, and that's when testing wasn't even crazy. Now I have a 10-year-old niece, and it's like she's in 5th grade, but she's already taking tests, getting ready for 6th grade. I'm like, are you guys learning anything, or are you guys just preparing for tests to get to the next?
Pass the test.
And you're not gonna remember that. That's as long. All right, study, pass the test, done. It's out your brain. You're not trying to think about that.
So frustrating that is for the teacher. They're like, I know I'm doing a good job as a teacher,
right?
And for some reason, my kids keep failing. What is the problem? You know?
Because who's trying to learn anything about a test? I don't know. I'm someone that sucks at standardized testing, so I know how they feel.
I suck at it. Like I feel like there are 2 groups of kids, 2 groups of people.
Yeah.
You have the people who have the aptitude to learn things directly out of a book, and you have the people who excel great in arts and through experience.
Yeah.
I feel like I am one of those people that learn through experience, and I feel like I am good at the arts.
Yeah. So yeah, you're saying there's 2 different kinds of people.
Yeah, I feel like
that we have out in the world.
There are people who are good socially, and basically they help move the culture forward.
Yeah.
And they're really good at what they do, and the culture is what helps the market moves forward because there's always something new for people to consume, and then you have the people who could punch the numbers and follow the culture statistically. And I feel like more and more people are starting to move away from just trying to punch numbers and stuff.
Right.
Like everyone wants to be themselves again. It's like the 90s all over again, like the early 90s.
Or the Renaissance.
Or the Renaissance.
Like the Renaissance movie. I told you I'm gonna make it stick. I'm gonna make it stick.
You know.
I definitely agree though, because but I also feel like the schools are cutting those free thinkers, and that's gonna be an issue because there's so many schools. Like I excelled in dance, and I was in band from like 4th grade to 12th grade. Like I played the clarinet straight up. Exactly. Kids don't even know how to play instruments. It's like they don't even have gym in some schools. So it's like those that excel in expressing themselves through their bodies and through their thoughts and through arts, they're not even gonna have a chance anymore. So it's like if you can't do that, and then the numbers aren't sticking, like where those kids are gonna end up. They're
gonna shove pills down their throat and tell them that they're stupid and that they need pills to focus.
Have mental disorders and stuff like that.
You know, when it's just like some people are just philosophically in tune with the world where they just question everything, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But once you go to question things, you're either looked at as a rebel, because I got in trouble in school so many times. World, I was not the best student ever. Ever. In college, I was not an A student. We're going to put that out there. But there's been times I've been in school, like in high school, like around Regents time. I would question everything, and they just look at me as a rebel. But when I graduated, they was like, you're going to be a smart person because you question everything. Mm-hmm. And they'd be like, but why did you suspend me then? Right. I had to. It was my job.
Oh, wait. For non-New Yorkers, Regents are tests we have to take for every subject. And no matter how well you did that entire year, if you failed at Regents, you repeat in that class.
Yeah.
New York. New York the beautiful. That's
New York
what that
City,
is.
yes. And I just feel like they're basically manufacturing our children of today to where the arts will mean nothing in the next 15 to 20 years unless they do something. So as an artist, I just wish they just expand more on the arts for children. Instead of like just creating one school for the arts, because then you know what's going to happen, that school can't take any more kids, and then there's going to be a surplus, and there's going to be kids that can't get into the program, etc., etc. But yeah, that's my first film project that I'm doing. I started it in college, and yeah, it's basically done. You know, it's done. I'm just adding the score. I hooked up with a really good person that does scores, composer. Mm-hmm. His name is Paul. He's down in Florida. Paul, really good guy. And you know, once we lay the music down on top of everything, let's see where it goes. You know, I've had offers to put it in film festivals and stuff like that, but I just want to make sure that it's perfect because I want to get that message across. You know, I don't want to come off like as a rebel or someone who just wants to overthrow everything. Mm-hmm. Everything has a purpose.
Sometimes you need people to like shake it up a little bit.
I'm gonna shake it up a little
bit. Okay, good. So for anyone that wants to, you know, get in contact with you, see your, you know, your food pictures, see your Queen exhibit, see any of your films, where can they reach out to you?
For the Queen exhibit, I actually have a book online.
We have that book, hard copy.
You should have brought it. I would have signed it.
Oh, man! All right. Next time.
It's called the Queen Exhibit. Just look up the Queen Exhibit in Amazon. What else? You could find me on Instagram, Lucky_Peters. Twitter.
Yeah, right. You don't even tweet no more.
Peters. I don't even tweet. I just keep people updated because you know when you disappear for too long, they be like, "Oh, you don't rock with us anymore," or "I had to unfollow you because you don't do anything." People take Instagram and Twitter too far sometimes, but it's whatever. If you just want to read the bio on me, I have a website, thequeencollection.com, pignyc.com. Basically, it's like a poster board where we post all our new works. So I have a short film up there called Laces, if you want to see that. And that's about it. As far as like getting in contact with Josh, Lucky Peters.
All right, there it is, folks. Lucky Peters, Renaissance man.
Haha, STJ fam. Don't forget about your alma mater.
Please.
Please.